Kroger Delivery has one mission: to deliver the freshest food right to your door. That's why our drivers are pros. Our trucks are refrigerated. And when it comes to low prices, we always deliver. With $20 off your first order of $75 or more, there's no better time to get in on the action. Mission accomplished. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Welcome to the Dogs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Riniker, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
Let's go Browns. It is Dog Podcast time, and it's that time of year, guys, where we got to figure out the team. The NFL fiscal new year is coming up, and that's in 6 weeks, so we need to get cooking. And Dog Pack, guys, Browns backers worldwide, Browns fans, how the heck are you guys? I've been reading everything you guys have been saying on social. For some of us, we're just happy the season's over. It's Christmas time for some guys. They love this time of year, man. We can figure out a new team. Some of you guys, though, man, you ain't doing too good. You're either afraid or you're miserable. So let's get into it, man. You guys know me. I am Kenny Mack. I'm going to do my best Josh All impersonation. Last time Josh was able to do a solo on his own, I think it was mid-month. He did it on the Deshaun Watson article from The Athletic. The guys did the three of them did it a couple days after. Then you've seen Josh, you've seen Blake give their thoughts on Musgrave and a bunch of stuff. But we're all kind of going to pull it all together for Josh because he is a new father. Woo! Welcoming another Browns fan into the world, and we got to do some changes for this little pup to come back or come into this world, and let's see what we can do. But before we get into it, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, subscribe. You get all our content if you do that. Also, don't be afraid to like, of course. Don't be afraid to comment. Just say what you want to say, guys, and just back it up with facts. The Dogs, we play on Spotify. We play on Apple. Give us a review. That always helps out. You can follow us on all the socials. We got Facebook, Insta, X, TikTok. You can head to the website. That's at www.thedogspodcast.com, where you can find episodes, you can find merchandise, discounts from the sponsors. You can also find a area on there where you can leave a voicemail. I used to do it all the time. You can leave an intro for the shows. You guys can leave just questions, concerns, comments on the Browns. Try to answer them as best as we can. And you can also join the Dog Pack. When you join the Dog Pack, then you get to be part of the Discord. You can also become a YouTube member. All day Browns, though, back to the Discord. All day Browns. You want to talk about Browns, we're there for you. But we also talk about politics. We talk about movies. We talk about music. With Smokehouse One, where we go into beers. We go into what's on the barbecue. And there's much, much, much more. So get on there and don't miss out. We do have a new Facebook thing that we're doing. It's a private group. We're trying to build a community very similar to the Discord. And we become really tight-knit on there, and I'm sure people want to do the same thing on Facebook, but people just really like that platform. And if you want to get in there, say your thoughts on the Browns, you want to say that without all these like irrational, emotional trolls trying to get after you, pop on there. I think it's only like 99 cents, and it's 99 cents right now. So if you want in on that, 99 cents a month, you will not go up. I got to get on it. I'm not in there yet. I got to get my crap together and get on there so I can talk to you guys and talk some brownies. So get that 99 cents before it goes up, and I'll see you there. But one thing that Josh does, man, and that's super awesome. He's always keeps us up to date on what's going on with the Browns. He's been busy, obviously, since mid-month, so here's what's kind of happened in the last little bit. We've had 29 free agents, or we're going to have 29 pending free agents, guys that we may or may not sign back. I'll give you my thoughts on them, and if I want them back on the team. As far as the quarterback room's concerned, I don't want anybody back, not even Deshaun. He's under contract. See you later, man. That guy just seems like he is checked out and he's vacant. As far as Jameis Winston and Bailey Zappi's concerned, I think we just need to do a redo. No offense to you guys. See you later. Running back room is Nick Chubb, Dante Foreman, and Nyheim Hines with John Kelly. John Kelly, I'm sure, will be back on the practice squad. He always is. And Nick Chubb, we want you back. Let's figure that out. Wide receiver room is Elijah Moore. It's James Prochet II. I just don't see them coming back because I think we're going to expand our tight end room. That being said, I think that's another redo. Dorian Akins, Jeff Swami, Blake Whitehart. Whitehart will probably be on the practice squad. The other two I don't see coming back. Then there is the O-line, and these are mostly depth pieces. So we'll see what happens. Other than Jed Wills, we'll say see you later. I think that ship has sailed. James Hudson, Garon Christian Sr., Michael Dunn, that's a maybe. Nick Harris, another maybe for our jumbo packages. Jermaine Iafetti and Hakeem Adeniji, I just don't see those guys coming back. And that rounds out the offensive free agents. Now the guys that are coming up for free agency on defense is Maurice Hurst II. I think Javon Briggs played his way onto the team, which unfortunately plays Maurice Hurst II off the team. I could be wrong. Michael Doomforth, I don't know if he's coming back or not. I don't think so, just with the number of draft choices that we have. Linebacker, Winston Reed, I think he's a hell yeah on coming back, plays fullback, and he also is a special teams ace. That guy is not afraid to hit people. James Houston, Kalike Hudson, I don't see coming back. Delvin Bush, let's get a contract out for this guy. He played very well. His numbers have gone up game by game as he got here, and I think he really got what Schwartz wanted him to do. In the safety room, I just want DeAnthony Bell back, and the corners that are available are Tony Brown and Mike Ford. They were special teams guys. I think we can find something else. So, guys, before I get into the rest, I am going to let Josh get us into a sponsor, and we will talk soon.
This episode is sponsored by Omaha Steaks. Browns fans, the Super Bowl is almost here, and it seems like you can't watch the Super Bowl these days without watching the Kansas City Chiefs. But another thing, the most important thing that you cannot have a Super Bowl party without is great food. And Omaha Steaks is the official sponsor of tailgating and has been bringing people together with the world's best steak experience with more than 100 years of family-owned experience. You guys know my freezer is always stocked full of Omaha Steaks products. The food is unbelievable. And this upcoming Super Bowl Sunday, you can win the championship at your party with Omaha Steaks. Because the only thing bigger than the game day action is the game day flavor. When you serve big game favorites from Omaha Steaks, they offer unrivaled quality and variety, and every bite is backed by their 100% guarantee. So deliver big flavor for the big game with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com and save an extra $20 with promo code BARK, B-A-R-K, when you check out. Minimum purchase may apply. That's omahasteaks.com with an extra $20 off using promo code BARK at checkout.
All right, guys, we are back, and this is something that's kind of come up, and I'm going to get into the players that the Browns have met. But the first real all-star game for college is the Hula Bowl. And the Hula Bowl, if you don't know, they invite 120 of the top senior athletes for football to Orlando. I believe it's a Hula Bowl, and it's in Orlando. Started in Hawaii. But the players come in from the U.S., they come in from Canada, Australia, Japan. And if you're kind of like, whoop-de-doo, man, I don't care about no Hula Bowl. Well, they just inducted Deion Sanders, and they inducted Doug Flutie. So, man, those guys aren't too shabby. And let's see who we've seen so far. So with Blake, I did mention this guy. It's Jaheim Thomas. He is 6'4", 240 pounds. He's from Wisconsin. I think what you're looking at when you get this guy is they didn't give me his speed. They're just saying he's fast. And ultimately, he has the potential to be a spy quarterback against very good athletes. Sounds like Lamar Jackson to me. So potential for a spy quarterback, that's basically what it is. I mean, if he is somewhat fast at 240, maybe it's a defensive end prospect, which is the next prospect. He is a defensive end. His name is Danny Strigro. He also, I hope I didn't typo this, is 6'4", 240 pounds, but he was in there. They met him. He did have some fumble recoveries. He did have some turnovers and some sacks. He seemed like a solid run defending tight end to me, but he is also at the Senior Bowl, so we'll see what happens. Now, the one that everybody kind of wanted to see from Colorado, not named Shedeur Sanders, is BJ Green. He was a defensive, dominant defensive lineman. He had 33 tackles, 7.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery. So he has the ability to disrupt opposing offenses consistently, and he was basically the cornerstone of that unit. That is somebody that we're always looking for on defense, and I'm sure Jim Schwartz would be happy with a guy like that. I wish he would have had his measurables, though. We do have another guy, and again, it's another defensive end linebacker hybrid. But when I read this, who does this make you think of? French embodies the modern NFL tweener, a player whose exceptional athleticism and production are at odds with his lack of prototypical size. JOK, anybody? He's inclusion on the Bruce Feldman's freak list, which I think JOK was on. And that pretty much means he has all the raw tools, but they might be somewhat concerned about maybe playing time or something like that. But there's some physical, like 99 percentile thing that he has for his size. And so he's got to find the right scheme to fit him for his size. But he definitely reminds me of JOK, which I'm very concerned that he will not come back. Next up, we did meet with Shedeur Sanders, and let's get into that in a little bit. We did meet with a kicker. So, Andre Borregals. Now, the Borregals family, I guess, have put many kickers through the Miami Hurricane University program. This guy has a powerful leg. He can make 57 to 56-yard field goals, and he has been marked through his career by steady improvement and growing confidence. The 3-star prospect, he is the nation's number 2 kicker by 24/7 Sports. So that's something to look at. I don't know if you guys know this. One of our vice presidents of player personnel, Glenn Cook, he is an alumnus from the Miami Hurricanes. So he's always looking for good talent out of that school. 2 other guys that came in, Wayne Ruby, he was a undrafted free agent last year. He was from Division III from Mount Union. His college days, 362, the receptions, 5,624 yards for 74 touchdowns. If you can get him in on a contract, let's see what he can do. That's going to be a back-end futures type deal, and let's see what happens. Let's dial it back to 2020. It's the last time we had a fullback in our offense, I believe, and we just signed one, Troy Harrison. He is a reserves future contract as well. He actually beat out former Brown Andy Janovich, who was our last fullback. He just finished his 3rd season, so maybe fullback's back in the cards for us. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't want to get too much into the future reserve contracts and the guys that they signed, but we did sign Ralph Hawley, and the reason why I'm saying this, he played in the CFL. He played for the the CFL, Grey Cup champion Argonauts. He recorded 22 tackles, 8 sacks, and forced a fumble. He is a guy that collapses the pocket. Whether he can get his way up onto this roster, I don't know, but that looks like another thing that they're looking for. So, what has this all been so far? We have found out that we are looking for a fullback. We put one on the team. He seemed very similar to Ricci last year, who we put on there, but maybe there's going to be another guy. A lot of defensive guys, some guys in the mold of JOK, some guys that can track down Lamar Jackson. They're 6'4", 240, 6'1", 225. That's all in the JOK mold. So I'm getting even a little bit more worried about this. But that being said, I'm going to take a quick little break here. Let's find out what the coaching staff is doing next up. All right, guys, we are back, and it looks like the Browns have been super busy. So what is the Browns front office doing right now? Well, there's got to be a little bit of onus based on a 3-14 record. You want to get all hands on deck, and you need to right this ship fast. And looks like everybody is everywhere. And let's see where these guys are. So they're getting their fingerprints on every single prospect that they possibly can. And at the Shrine game, they have some of their coaching staff, Jeff Anderson to be specific. He's the DB coach for one of the two teams in the Shrine game. Also, you have Nemo Washington, another coaching assistant. He is the tight ends coach, something that I want to clear out, and I want to kind of do a redo with that other than Njoku. In the Senior Bowl, though, we do have Jacques Césaire as a defensive coordinator and Bubba Vitrone as a head coach. So these guys, and if you listen to Bubba Vitrone, he knows every single player on his team in and out, and that is great news. Stefanski, Andrew Berry, Glenn Cook, as I mentioned, Catherine Raich, they're all there, and I think everybody has very keen interest in the quarterback position. I'm sure all you draftniks, you keyboard guys, all you guys that are watching this are super pumped about this. But one thing, and I'm not sure if we've done it since Josh has been off, but I don't know if we've got into Tommy Rees. Guys, are you guys excited about this? He was our tight ends and passing game specialist for 2024. But this is kind of the coaching tree that he got off of. First of all, this guy was an undrafted free agent. He got a tryout with the Washington Redskins, and guess who was the OC? Lasted for 7 days, but still got some exposure to Sean McVay. He then got a college season in as an intern with Northwestern that ran a spread style. I'm not going to say much about this. This is an interesting connection, and you'll see why. Mike McCoy was the coach of the 2016 Chargers. Their offensive coordinator was Ken Wisenhunt. He did bring the Cardinals to the Super Bowl, and he was an the OC for the Steelers for years. Also, underneath him, he brought in Shane Steichen. You might have heard of him before. And Nick Sirianni as a receivers coach. Steichen was a quarterbacks coach at the time. They did have Jeff Davison, a former Browns OC there, but they did put Phillip Rivers into the Pro Bowl. So that's a bit of a West Coast type experience. I believe Mike McCoy was with the Broncos previously as an OC, and he brought those guys in to run his version of the West Coast offense. Now he goes from 217, Reese does, to 219. He's a quarterback coach for Brian Kelly, who runs a spread style offense in the college ranks. Then he gets promoted, not only from he got promoted, and he still got to keep his QB coach position, to offensive coordinator, but they went to a hybrid style of offense. And this is basically what I found out what it means. It's a pro style offense, spread offense, and a pistol offense. So now pro style, I'm assuming shotgun. He's got shotgun, he's got spread, he's got the West Coast, and he has a pistol offense. He does stay for a couple more years under Marcus Freeman until he gets to Alabama. Now, Alabama, Nick Saban is calling for him. Why does Nick Saban is reaching out to a specific OC from Notre Dame. Well, they've had great offenses. I mean, his first season, they were number 5 overall. But there's a guy on his staff as a consultant named Ken Wisenhunt. Ken Wisenhunt, if I connect all the dots, must have dropped a little birdie in Saban's ears and pretty much said, you got to get this kid on your staff. Well, Nick Saban leaves, and in 2024, he wants to come and he wants to work for Kevin Stefanski. And not only does he get to work for Kevin Stefanski, he gets an actual tutorial on how to coach by Mike Vrabel, who a lot of guys wanted to hear instead of Stefanski. So he gets that 2024 year under his belt, which wasn't great. However, with the high praise from Saban, from Bill Belichick, all this stuff that I told you about, all these different offenses, he wants to learn Stefanski's, and this is a great opportunity to modernize that Stefanski offense. So let's see what happens. The main thing that I got from his presser is, number 1, he wants to be here in Cleveland. Number 2, he wants to work with Kevin Stefanski. And number 3, he wants a quarterback that's a great decision maker. So we'll see if that happens.
This episode is brought to you by Danger Coffee. Browns fans, we talk about how Danger Coffee is made free from mold toxins that are in 45% of the world's coffee, but that's not all that Danger Coffee has to offer. Mineral and nutrient deficiencies are a big deal. They make you feel sick, tired, stressed, and they can give you brain fog. These deficiencies negatively affect your immune system, your digestion, sleep, metabolism. Have you ever wondered why you get an initial burst from your coffee, but then you get that little crash not long after? Danger Coffee's patent-pending process remineralizes your body with more than 50 trace minerals and electrolytes, leaving you more energized, engaged, powerful. These micronutrients enter the cells to boost performance. They bind to toxins to provide detoxification support. I know that sounds like a lot, but the bottom line, guys, is minerals matter, and most of us really don't get enough of them on a daily basis. Danger Coffee delivers micronutrients, plus it gives you access to the minerals you already have. Head to dangercoffee.com, use our code DAWGS, DAWGS, for 10% off your order, and that code can be used over and over, so you get 10% off every order you make using code DAWGS. It's time to start every day off with a cup of coffee that gets you going and actually keeps you going. dangercoffee.com, code DAWGS.
Your neighborhood just got cooler with Kroger Delivery's refrigerated trucks. Simply order groceries at the same great prices online as in-store, and we'll bring them to you fresh every time. And if that wasn't cool enough, you can now earn 4 times the fuel points after 4 with your digital coupon. Choose a next-day Kroger Delivery time slot for 4 p.m. or later on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Must deliver by February 4th. Restrictions apply. See Kroger.com for details.
So how is that going to happen? And I think I'm going to put like a little 5-point plan that maybe we can figure out, get some players in here to make that happen. So with the 2 teams that are in the Super Bowl right now, it's the Kansas City Chiefs and it's the Philadelphia Eagles. If I'm looking to like fix the offense, because I'm not worried about the defense right now, I'm only fixing the offense. I think you need weapons. And what I've seen from the Eagles, what I've seen from the Chiefs, I don't know if you can easily replicate the Chiefs. And the reason is it's the Mahomes factor. I think it's way easier to draft a quarterback in the mold of Jalen Hurts than it would be Mahomes. The other thing is you know that Harry Roseman, the GM of the Eagles, mentored our guy Andrew Berry. So this is my reasoning. Now, I'm going to pick players that I think are available now. If they're not cut or I'm going to pretend they're cut, that's not going to happen. But there's a couple main things that I want to see and that the Eagles did well. They drafted a quarterback and they put weapons around him. They put a big-bodied receiver, they put a fast receiver, and they put a running back and a very competent tight end. And we'll get into that. But the reason I got into Tommy Rees is because what I wanted, and I did this before this kind of happened, is when I started writing this, is I wanted to round out the coaching staff. So Tommy Rees, we got into him, but we needed a quarterback coach that could really develop. Well, the Browns already had Bill Musgrave on staff. it's not a promotion, but he is going to be the person that is going to take the quarterback and mold them. And this guy's got a ton of experience. One thing that I really want to point out, and if you guys haven't heard this yet, or you haven't connected the dots, you know Bill Musgrave in 1994 played with Deion Sanders. And the other thing about Musgrave is that he was on he was on Pat Shurmur's staff with Stefanski in Minnesota in 2016. He was the quarterback coach there. He was also the quarterback coach in 2017 with Stefanski as well. There seems to be a comfortability between Sanders' family and Musgrave, and it seems that that might have Sanders come our way. Shedeur, that is. Could be a possibility he gets drafted here. As far as quarterback coaches, though, that guy is a heavy hitter, and if you want to make your quarterback work, I think that is the way you go. But one of the things you need to do, and that we've said over and over and over again, is you need to get an identity. And what's that identity that we're going to have? Like, I mean, we were tough, accountable, and smart in 2020, right? That's what the thing was. Maybe we got to be gritty, aggressive, and fast. But the biggest thing that I want you guys, and I hope you're hearing from me right now, is we need weapons. I'm not going to talk about the offensive line in this episode at all. So what do we need? We need quarterback, we need quarterback, and we need quarterback. And the reason I'm saying that 3 times is, like I mentioned earlier with the free agents, I am cleaning house. See you later, Deshaun. Go sit at home and collect your money. See you later, Jameis. See you later, DTR. See you later, Bailey Zappi. We need fresh faces in that room. What I want to do is I need a veteran. I need a veteran for at least 75% of the games, if not the full year. And I need 1 to 2 rookies, okay? Maybe a backup third, but we'll see. After multiple interviews, I've come to the conclusion that if we draft a quarterback at number 2, and I'm not going to get into trades, there's only one guy that fits the leadership skills, the decision-making, the accuracy, and the toughness that has constantly been said by this front office of the Cleveland Browns. And with the number 2 pick in the 2025 early draft pick is going to be Shedeur Sanders. And the reason is, like, just listen to some of the stuff about this guy, and this is what everybody wants to hear. Elite processing speed and diagnostic ability that consistently shows up pre-snap, making NFL caliber adjustments and working through progressions like a veteran. Wow, we had a veteran on our team that couldn't handle any of that, and it went all the way through except for Jameis Winston. He was the only guy. For the leadership, natural command of the huddle, and sideline presence that elevates the teammates' performance, particularly in high-pressure situations. We have to rely on these stupid trick plays that we do all the time. Surgically accurate. I mean, accuracy is huge in the short and intermediate games, demonstrated by this 74.2% FBS leading completion rate, has a mastery of timing routes. The other thing I liked is I think our screen game sucked. I think he was like very high in screen yards in the entire FBS. So that's something else that I would love to see. So I want to put a little bit more of a connection together, and I guess I didn't quite get it, but I mentioned Pat Shurmur's name. Pat Shurmur used to coach the Cleveland Browns. I was not a big fan of him. He is the offensive coordinator for the Colorado Buffaloes right now. So he is Deion Sanders' offensive coordinator. He also was with Stefanski and Bill Musgrave, like I said. Bill Musgrave and Shurmur have a great relationship from what I'm reading. If you connect the dots, they're going to get a lot of intel from these guys. So if they don't draft Shedeur, it's either he's not available or something was said and they said, don't draft this guy. But everything's telling me and pointing right to Shedeur Sanders right now. He's actually very similar in stature to him. They have, I think Hurts has a slightly Well, he doesn't have slightly. He's just a better runner than Shedeur Sanders is. As far as timing's concerned and their actual 40 time, I couldn't find something that was good for Shedeur. We know Hurts is fantastic. They are similar in stature, though. They're about the same height, 6'1", 6'2". Jalen has a little bit more pounds on him, about 7 more pounds. So you're looking at like 215 to 223. And then what am I going to do for a veteran? Well, I told you guys right now, as it stands today, the end of January, there's only the free agents that are available. Of those free agents that are available, the guys that know Stefanski's offense the best would be Joe Flacco or Case Keenum. Between the two and the Wacko for Flacco magic, I'm taking Flacco as my vet. His price tag's like $3.2 million. And the other reason why I'm taking him is because I think he can really teach Shedeur Sanders, but I think he can also teach and is very similar to my second draft choice, which I'm hoping, and I think today, as of today, still in the 4th round area, would be Will Howard. Do I think that's something that's going to be something that can happen? Probably not. But as of today, he's still projected in the 4th round. And I think he's almost a Flacco clone. Like, you take a look again at the measurables, these guys have about the same 40. They are about the same height. Flacco's got about 2 inches on him at 6'6". They're the same weight. They're 230, mid-30s, like 235. And one's got a better arm, which I would say Flacco, and Howard's just a little bit more game fast. Other than that, if I had to bring in one more quarterback, I might bring in Josh Dobbs for the preseason. People loved him here. But again, that's like back-end 4th quarterback. So we're going to get into the running back room next.
This episode is brought to you by Baden Sports. Browns fans, Baden Sports is your one-stop shop for all your athletic gear. Baden started out perfecting and manufacturing the best balls in the business. Yeah, if that sounded dirty, that's more about your mind than my words. But hey, it's true. Baseballs, softballs, footballs, basketballs, volleyballs, soccer balls, you name it, and Baden has engineered the highest standard sports balls available. And now they offer more than just sports balls. If you got kids playing baseball or softball, Baden has batting gloves and bats to go along with both game balls and training balls. If you're into basketball, Baden makes basketball specifically for indoor or outdoor use. Heck, Baden even has all the equipment you need for pickleball, which is one sport that I hear everyone is playing and yet I still never have. And I need to fix that soon. But don't miss the backyard games section of Baden's website, where you can order everything you need for this upcoming outdoor season. Pool balls, backyard volleyball nets, croquet, bocce, horseshoes, cornhole, and more. Right now, you can get 10% off your entire order at Baden Sports, BADEN sports.com/dogs, DAWGS, and use promo code DOGS when you check out. That's 10% off all the top quality sporting gear you need this season. BadenSports.com/dogs.
So what are we going to do with the running back room, guys? I would love to draft Genty from Boise State, with taking Sanders at number 2 and the next pick being top of the 2nd round. That will not happen. I could see us drafting RJ Harvey, who has very similar traits and measurables to Genty, catches the ball better than Genty. He's from the University of Central Florida, I believe. But I am going to be a homer on this one because I want to do a little bit more homework on Harvey. I'm going to move over to the guy that I got to watch 4 extra times this year. I'm going to move into Quinshawn Junkins. I almost said Johnson. But this guy's got really, really good hands out of the backfield, and he has the ability to create yards after the catch. The other thing is runs with a low center of gravity, good pad level, making him difficult to bring down. Possesses good vision, patience, sets up blocks for zone running schemes, which we're going to be doing. Runs with a low center of gravity. Oh, I put that down twice, so I must really like it. Pass protection skills are developing. That's why we kept Deuce. He will put him on the right track. I see this guy more as a jacked up version of Delvin Cook than I do, or maybe even like a Kareem Hunt that's just a little bit faster with better hands. I really like him. I said I'm keeping Nick Chubb. Everybody wants to see Nick Chubb on the team. And what I'm hoping, and I don't know if Chubb would take this as a slight or anything, I would like to see him get healthy this year. I would like to see him as a goal line, as a red zone type running back. I'm hoping he can come back, if some of you guys remember, like Marcus Allen did for the Kansas City Chiefs. That guy basically played 4 or 5 years for him. He ran for about 3,700 yards in those 5 years, but he had 44 touchdowns rushing. He was unbelievable on the goal line. And he caught another 1,200 yards for about 3 touchdowns. And I mean, if Nick Chubb was willing to do that at least just 1 year just to get back on track. He's so talented. He still had that juke. The last 2 games, he was getting like 10, 11 carries, which unfortunately only the offense would allow us to do. He'd get a touchdown and get about 50 yards. And I think he was just getting back there, and unfortunately the broken foot came. I'm still keeping Jerome Ford. I'm like him out of the backfield. It's like Blake said, the guy needs 10 touches. He could go 10 for 3 yards, or he can go 100 yards, total yards. That's between catching and running. But that's the kind of back he is. And the next thing that I would do to change up this room is I would clear out, except for Njoku, the tight end room. And the tight end room is something that I believe we had 4. We started off with Stefanski here. We had Cooper and we had Njoku. And I remember signing Cooper going, what do we need 2 tight ends like that for? But that's what we ended up with an 11-5 record. And we did fantastic in the zone blocking scheme. And that's what I need from this team. And what I would do, first of all, I would draft a tight end. And I want somebody with physical tools like Njoku. And I'm going for Elijah Arroyo from Miami, another Miami Hurricane. He's raw, he's gifted, he has tantalizing physical tools, and he can be a mismatch. And he blew guys up at the Senior Bowl. He's got great size, athleticism, natural receiving ability, but he also has a history of injuries, and he's got some red flags that may push him down the draft board. So we need a veteran. We need a veteran presence. And when Stefanski was in Minnesota, he had a tight end sitting on the back end behind Irv Smith Jr. and Kyle Rudolph named Tyler Conklin. Well, he played for the Jets last year. This is a steady Eddie veteran that he's going in his 8th year. He's 240 pounds. He's over 6 feet. And he is a guy that's going to can get you 50 catches, 500 yards, 5 touchdowns. That's what he's for. He's there to get the zone scheme going, blocking, and be that steady presence. Other than that, I might draft another tight end. I like the kid out of Notre Dame. He's 260 pounds. I think we can get him later in the draft. I'm not going to get too much into him because I haven't done my due diligence and the homework with that guy. But I want some big guys that can knock guys over to get this running game going and help a young quarterback out. Last but not least, we're going to talk about receiver. Well, there's not too much really to say about receiver. I really like our room, and I don't want too much to change. I think we're going to carry less receivers because we have, I think we're going to increase that tight end room. So what's going to happen? What's going to make this better? Well, what made it better for the Eagles? Well, we got our running back. It's going to be Quinshon, I almost said Johnson again. I don't know why I got that. Johnkins. And we have Chubb. I think he can regain his form. We're going to keep Ford. Okay. The other thing that they have is they have a Jerry Jeudy type guy in Devontae Smith. And we also have our quarterback. They have Jalen Hurts, and we've taken Shedeur Sanders. The guy that makes that offense go, and when he goes off, is A.J. Brown for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm going to just kind of pull this out of the air. He isn't available, but trades are always available. And unlike the quarterback position where I took Flacco because Cousins, Derek Carr, these guys aren't cut yet, so it's not realistic to say, well, they're going to be on the team. We could realistically say DK Metcalf is available. We have the same trade that we do like we did with Amari Cooper, and we bring in DK Metcalf for a fourth and a fifth or whatever the combination is, but we get a veteran presence that kind of can open up everything for the receivers, the tight ends, the running backs underneath, and that's what's going to make the offense go. Why am I doing it this way? Because of that too high safety bubble zone D that's been going out there, that's been kind of, you gotta move down the field. It's kind of death by 1,000 paper cuts. But if you get the right receiver, if you get the right running back like Saquon, if you get the right tight ends like a Zach Ertz or a Dallas Goedert or whoever, that kind of gets you down the field. They can also blow the top off the defense. DK Metcalf still has it. Look at Saquon. He needed a couple years, but he's back to where he needs to be, and that may be something like Chubb. But you might as well get a running back in the meantime. And I like Junkins because he reminded me a lot of Kareem Hunt, the way he was blocking, the way that he was laying his body out and scoring the touchdowns in the crunch time when the Buckeyes needed. And guys, that's about it for me. I had a blast breaking this down with you guys. I hope you had fun in this. Give me what you would do. Give me 5 things you would do that would turn this team around, or 5 players. I'm just talking about offense. You can get into the offensive line if you want. But remember, if you're watching this, like, subscribe, put a comment down, get to thedogspodcast.com, leave some voicemails, tell me what you think. I had a blast. Let's go, Brownies. Hoo, 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 hoo.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dogs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at The Dogs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedogspodcast.com.
This episode is brought to you by Danger Coffee. Browns fans, we talk about how Danger Coffee is made free from mold toxins that are in 45% of the world's coffee, but that's not all that Danger Coffee has to offer. Mineral and nutrient deficiencies are a big deal. They make you feel sick, tired, stressed, and they can give you brain fog. These deficiencies negatively affect your immune system, your digestion, sleep, metabolism. Have you ever wondered why you get an initial burst from your coffee, but then you get that little crash not long after? Danger Coffee's patent-pending process remineralizes your body with more than 50 trace minerals and electrolytes, leaving you more energized, engaged, powerful. These micronutrients enter the cells to boost performance. They bind to toxins to provide detoxification support. I know that sounds like a lot, but the bottom line, guys, is minerals matter, and most of us really don't get enough of them on a daily basis. Danger Coffee delivers micronutrients, plus it gives you access to the minerals you already have. Head to dangercoffee.com, use our code DAWGS, DAWGS, for 10% off your order, and that code can be used over and over, so you get 10% off every order you make using code DAWGS. It's time to start every day off with a cup of coffee that gets you going and actually keeps you going. dangercoffee.com, code DAWGS.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now boarding Group A. Please have your boarding passes ready to scan. If your phone is cracked, old, or was chewed up by your Chihuahua travel companion, please refrain from holding up the line. and instead simply go to Verizon and trade in any phone in any condition from one of their top brands for the new Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus with Galaxy AI on Unlimited Ultimate and a watch or tab, also on them. Service plan required for watch or tab. Trade-in and additional terms apply. See Verizon.com for details.
At Kroger Pharmacy, care is what's most convenient for you. Care is being here when you need us. We're open evenings and weekends. Care is helping you save more. Most insurance plans and discount cards are accepted at your local Kroger Pharmacy. Care is saving you time by managing your prescriptions online. You can request refills, check order status, and more. Care is convenience that works for everyone. Kroger Health, a world of care is in store. Services and availability vary by location. Age and other restrictions may apply. For coverage, consult your health insurance company. Visit the pharmacy or our site for details.